Good evening. Today's chapter we are going to cover about three tools. Four tools I'll be covering today. One is the pen tool. Second one is the text tool. Third one is selection tool. Two selections tools in that, and shape tool. So these are the tools which I am going to cover today in Photoshop, and these tools are extremely important for your composing of the sheets, architectural design sheets, etc. They are going to be very important for you because most of the sheets which you see, you will be using these tools. So today's class, I'll show you what are these tools used for. Though you will be using these tools as you advance yourself, you will be needing all these tools to present your sheet, architectural design sheet better and better. Now, these are the basic tools which you will be using for your design sheets. Okay, so basically, if you know move tool, if you know these tools, lasso, magic wand, crop, frame, eyedropper, then if you know paint bucket and gradient, and then if you know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you know this much, you are 3/4 done with composing of the sheet. These image manipulation tools which I taught earlier in the last class are just there as a frill. You can do things better with these things. There is no doubt about it. But you can even work without these tools if you are going to give a pretty decent presentation, not an extraordinary presentation. For that you might be needing all these things. Okay, so I'll be teaching you how to work on pen tool, text tool, selection tool, and the shape tool. These two you already know, move and pan. I don't have to teach you more. And the changing colors, etc., you already know that. Okay, now I'll go from easy to difficult format. First thing I want to start with, before even starting with these tools, and I think in the first class or second class I told you how to set a sheet, how to start with a work, what is a canvas, why is it important to know the size of the image, etc. And I'm going to have a small recap on that, and then after teaching you about the sizes, sheet sizes, and how to set it in Photoshop, then I will go step by step into these tools. Okay, now to begin with, when you start a new sheet, if you give file new, if you start with the Photoshop, either it will you will end up like having interface like this. You have to give create new. Okay, if you don't see it, yeah, this is create new and this is open. Either you have to go to create new and click here, and here you have to give the width and height of your image. You have to give the size of your sheet. In other words, you have to give the size of your sheet. It is like buying a sheet from a shop. You're buying an A3 sheet or A4 sheet, or A1 sheet, A0 sheet. What is your sheet size? That is what you are going to give here. Where you have all these things, it is in create new, because you're going to create a new sheet. So here you don't buy sheet, you create a new sheet. So this is in millimeter. You are, I think by now you will be knowing all the sheet sizes. Now I'm trying for an A3 sheet, 420 by 297. So that is in landscape. I've shown this is landscape. This is portrait. If you click on portrait, see the whole value changed upside down. Landscape. The resolution, I told you, basically you have to understand this lower value in resolution like this. 72 is a basic value for the sheet. 150 a decent one, and 300 is a good quality sheet. So we might as well try with 300 pixel per inch and then create. So now I have created an A3 sheet with a white background of 300 pixel per inch. I think you got it clearly. Now this is one way of creating. Sometimes in a very rare chance, your Photoshop might be looking like this. It might be seen like when you open, it might be like this. You won't see all those things. So then you have to go to File, New, and then again come to the sheet sizes over here. Give the sheet size, whichever sheet you want, and the resolution, which is very important. You want a normal image or decent image or a good image, so you have to choose between 72, 150 or 300. Definitely you will be choosing 300. Then give OK. I think you understood till here. Now this sheet or this piece of this is called canvas. In another words in Photoshop, we call this as a canvas. We don't call it a document, we call it a canvas. This is the work area for you. Now how will you know the size? See, the ruler is here. You are changing, it's already in millimeter. Here also it is in millimeter. From 0, the end of the ruler is somewhere here, 420. Okay, now if you drag a line, you'll come to know that's 420 and your sheet ends there. Okay, now again here it is 0, so below the end of this should be 297. Where is it? It is 297. Okay, 290, 295, 297. This is 300. If you come till here, it is 300. I can drag one more line and show you. This is 300. So we need to end in 290, 295 and 297. So I just showed you with the ruler where exactly these things are. Why is it? How can I believe that this is an A3 sheet? I just dragged the ruler and checked it physically. While checking, you should set your ruler unit into millimeter and check. Otherwise, it might be in inches and you think that size is wrong and all that. It'll be in inches. It'll be showing somewhere around 17 inches or something like that. See, it changes into inches. Okay, inches, and then I just zoom it. See where 16.5 inches it is. So we need millimeter. Here also millimeter. So this unit of measurement for this sheet, or the sheet size in this unit of measurement is correct, pretty correct. Okay, now this is how you start working on the sheet. Now did I tell something? There is something called layer. We should always have the layer on. Okay, it's on only already. Yeah, you have a background layer which is represented as in white, because the background color here is white. That is the reason we are seeing it in white. Okay, so this is a recap of the previous class, and here I am going into the working on the sheet. Okay, now if you want to import an image, so if you have to import or place something, okay, you have many ways to um, place an image in the sheet. Okay, there are many ways to place an image in the sheet. Okay, maybe you can already plan. Okay, there is something here and there is something here, and there are text here. You can plan things like that. So I used you I think you'll be remembering this place frame. There is a tool called place frame. You can place the imaginary uh, frames, and you can select them, and you can go file, place embedded. I think I have taught you this earlier. You can pick up, okay, you can pick up some of these images. I'm going to place some of the images over here. See, I have placed it in a frame in a very decent manner. I have placed it in a frame. Okay, I can move around and keep whichever is need to be seen. I can make it see. Okay, I have placed it decently in a frame. Okay, so I am clicking this one. I am going to place embedded. I'm going to, okay, I'm going to have the picture of these plans. I got just downloaded it from somewhere, and I just want to show you how these things can be placed very well. Okay, so okay, I placed it in this frame, so I can select here and move. I want to make this alone appear over here. The other things need not be seen, so I left it here. Okay, so this is how you go about sheet presentation. Doesn't it look interesting? Yeah. So sheet presentations are okay. I can come here and crop it a little bit. I can have only this much. Still, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah, still I have the picture and the plan of this. Some plan of this. Okay. So this is how you can go about placing images. Now, if you ask me, sir, how did you get this image? I'm straight away telling you, I'm just opening and showing you. This is the image which is connected to this house. You can make out this is downloaded from somewhere. I'm not telling you from where. It is downloaded from somewhere. Now, how can we insert our drawings as pictures into Photoshop? I think I have taught you AutoCAD in the previous semester. So you can always go to AutoCAD and plot something into PDF, plot your drawing into PDF. That PDF can again be opened in Photoshop, saved as JPEG, just like this, just like these images, and that can be added over here. Your own plans can be placed like this, and your own 3D renderings can be placed just like how I have done this. So with a frame, you have a lot of control over the place with the frame. I don't want to see this gray road. Yeah, I can cut it like this, clicking the frame and moving it here. I am showing you, I'm showing whatever I need to show and nothing more and nothing less. So I'm showing you only the beautiful part of this house. A little bit of road is of course necessary. Yeah. So this is this frame. I taught you, although I taught you earlier, you didn't realize much on how it could be used on sheet. I have not taught you that time. I showed you how to place a frame, in an image, how you can, use it when you're rendering and all that I taught you. But this is a pretty good job for sheets. Okay, do you agree? Now I am come out of the frame. Okay, what next would you be liking to add over here? You might be liking to add something over here. Definitely yes. So this here is the text. There are about 4 types of text tools in Adobe Photoshop. All are different from each other. Number one, horizontal type tool. So this is just our normal text type tool which you find in AutoCAD or wherever it is. Now this is a sample text which they are giving. So I gave it like this. Just place it. Okay. So this is a sample text which okay. You can also activate type by pressing T. You can select that and given a darker gray color. Okay. Click like this. Then you have the sounds like Latin, but then you have the text here. Okay. So you can move it down also. You can bring it down. Okay. So this is how you place a text. Now this is a horizontal text. What about this vertical type tool? What way it will help? Now this will help you to type things vertically, not horizontally. Villa Martini. Okay. I have typed the text. Okay, so type it like this. Okay, you can place it. Okay, so you can use space bar, sorry, and move the arrow keys. So one by one, you can move the arrow keys, down arrow keys, Villa Martini. So I gave a space between them. Okay, I'm not attracted really with this font. So I thought I will change the font something little stronger. No, not good. So I've given this font and I have placed it over here. So that sounds good. I can have a text over here also. So that is the advantage of having a vertical type tool. Now, what are these two text types? It looks very similar to the text tool on top, horizontal type text tool, horizontal type mask tool, and vertical type tool, vertical type mask tool. Now, what is this mask business? Mask business is nothing but you click on horizontal and I'll draw like this, and I'm going to, these are primarily used for making a text look attractive, mostly for a logo or any heading. um, hmm, Something should I give here? hmm. Something like this. I'm going to give a title. Okay, and don't mistake me to be a fan of uh, Sri Ravi Shankar ji. I'm just trying to give some title which connects to the house. So I gave this, and you find that you have um, kind of a selection coming up here. You don't find the text coming, but it just gives you the selection. Otherwise, this is called mask. Okay. So what is the advantage of having the mask? You can use a brush, right? And okay. So I'll just go to the layers. Okay, just I'll go to the layers. Where's the layer? Just a minute. Layers. I'm going to layers. I'm going to add a new layer for this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint. What do you use? Ink color of this thing, not an average point sample. This one, and I'm using a brush, and I'm going to paint like this. I'm going to give another color pick from here. Okay, somewhere from here. That is a bit lighter. I'm using a brush again, and I'm drawing like this. Okay, then I'm picking up something from here, and I'm drawing like this. I'm I'm going to use I pick it, B brush it. I pick something from here, B brush it, brush it. I blue, so I'll give blue. Sorry, I'll do it here. So like this, I pick it up from here, B for brush. So you can paint your own text in a very creative manner using airbrush. So that is the advantage of using all this. Okay, so here in the end I have to paint it here. Okay, I just did all this and gave Control D for deselection. I have taught you this before. So it has come to a beautiful title. Okay, and it is in a separate layer. Now that if you have it in separate layer, it's easy for you to place. There is one problem in using this one. What is the problem? Once you mask and paint it with a brush, you cannot make any change of that. It is like an image. It is fully frozen. You cannot go back and change your spelling and all that, or change the title even. Okay, so be sure of doing it, and then only try this mask tool. Okay, so in this one is horizontal. You can have a vertical one also. You can use vertical mask test tool, mask. So here I'm going to say something else, something like that. Okay, so again it has become, I'm creating a new layer for this, and maybe I'll use some color and brush it like this. So this time I used a single color, rest is white, and I'm going to, so this is it. So you can, so if you want to add some other color, of course you can change the color, brighter ones. B, you can reduce the size of the brush. As and how you can use a normal brush, you can use it, and you can color your text the way you want, like camouflage color, what they use in defense and all that. All that it is very much possible by using this mask tool. Okay, text mask tool. One is horizontal and one is vertical. This one is a normal text tool, horizontal one, and this is a vertical one. These are the different types of text tools available in this in our Adobe Photoshop. By the way, I wanted to show you how to select each layer. I forgot to tell you that. If you want, you are now you are in a mangle of layer. You have how many layers? You have one, two. Yeah, you have one. You have two. How many layers? Three, 4, 5, and 6. 6 layers are there. Now I have worked even with 50 layers. I will never get confused because I don't look here and select the layers. This I wanted to explain how to select a layer. Before explaining, I just want to show you what happens here. So if I want to select this image and move, just use move and go near the image, right click and select the see, it is written here, this is the image. So I moved the image. I go here, right click, Villa Martini, that is the layer name, so I moved it. I go here and click on this one, I moved it. So Adobe Photoshop has a method which is highly uh, you know easy for anyone to work on layers. It allows you to select the layers by going there and right clicking and selecting the layer. Even though you don't know the layer name, you will be able to select the layer easily. You don't need to remember the layer name. I don't remember the layer name. So what I just go there, right click, and what is on top, just click it and move around. Even if someone else gives me the file, I will be able to do. I don't have to remember the layer name, and it's impossible for anyone to remember layer name, because there will be hundreds of layers in a go. At least 50 to 60 layers I have worked. So I mean, it's not that I am the end of the world. People will be working in the more complicated Photoshop file with more and more layers, so they cannot remember all these things and work on Photoshop. So I just selected what is on top and moved it. Are you clear? So now till now things are very easy. First you have to remember sheet size. You have to ask your teacher or your senior architect when you are going to work. You should ask them, sir, which sheet size we are going to present this whole architectural design in the design competition, or you have to refer to the design competition instruction. They would have given you what is the size, maximum size you can give. So you have to refer to that. Set the sheet size. When you start the document itself, file new, you have to set the sheet size over here. Second, you decide what to place where. That's up to you, your imagination. So accordingly, you place frames for pictures and place it. Text comes next. You can just place the text. Now, if anyone says, I have all these things in PowerPoint too, I am not saying no. You have it in PowerPoint. You can't print a PowerPoint presentation even if you convert into PDF when it comes to large images with good clarity. So that is where people go into Photoshop and present the sheets. PowerPoint sheets, the best output you will get in PowerPoint sheet, no matter whatever you convert it to, it will be A4 only, the best resolution. A3, the resolution will come down, it won't look good. Beyond that, it will be horrible. You cannot present anything with that. That is good for seeing on the screen. And whatever you have seen on the screen, maybe you can print it into an A4 and give it to the client and take your bag and come off. There's nothing more than that you can do with a PowerPoint. You're going to give a sheet presentation, big boards, A2, A1, A3, all that you need to use Adobe Photoshop, which will help you to get good resolution while printing. You will come to know that. Okay. Now, these things, remember I drag something. These are called rulers. You can use rulers even for setting the border of the sheet. You can set the border of the sheet like this, and you can work within that. So rulers are very helpful for you. See, I feel that I have not given enough gap here. Because I draw the ruler, I felt that using an arrow to move things up, right click, move the arrow. Okay. Now I think, or even I can keep it like this. This is also a good alignment. Now after doing everything, you can drag the same, click and drag the ruler and leave it where you took it. Click when it shows the symbol, leave it where you took it. Click when you get the symbol, leave it where you took it. When you want to get the ruler, just drag from the ruler, click and drag from the ruler. So that's about ruler. This is also a very important tool as you work. As you work, you need ruler. You can switch off the ruler by pressing Ctrl R. Okay, Ctrl R on, Ctrl R off, ruler off. Okay, so I just gave a name like this. I place this, place the text. Okay, now what did I say next? I'm going to teach you pen tool. Ooh, what is pen tool? Pen tool is a tool. It's basically a drawing tool. Okay, it's basically a drawing tool. These drawing tools will be very good for highlighting something in your presentation. When I say highlighting something in a presentation, maybe I can say, okay, you can use pen tool, press shift and click here. Shift is to draw line straight like this. You can click. So what happened, it created a shape, but the only problem it filled with the foreground color, because here there is a fill. So you can click on fill and remove the fill. Here there is something called stroke. So you can give any color of your choice. Okay, I can give this color. Okay, this color, and I can increase the thickness. So see, look at it, as though I have imported with the border, it looks like, but I never did anything. It highlights the design. You can highlight any design using this pen tool. You can go like this, press shift, click here, click here, click here, click here, and click here. So that highlights the design. Having said that, you can move it slightly and okay, place it properly. You can adjust it. You can click here and drag it, adjust it, adjust it. Do all sort of things that are possible. So that is possible with pen tool. I did it with pen tool just now. Okay. Now after doing pen tool, if you want to select something, you need one of this, either path selection tool or direct selection. Path selection tool, if you use path selection tool, you can select the whole thing and move around. You can select the whole thing and move around. You got it? But if the character of this icon is that it has a black arrow, not a white arrow. Path selection tool. And there is something called direct selection tool also. What does it do? If you use direct selection tool, it is a white arrow. It is a white arrow represented here. You select, it will allow you to select that corner. Then you will be allowed to change the shape. You understood? I am giving Control Z after drawing like this. I am giving Control Z. So this is about, what is that? Direct selection tool. Path selection tool, direct selection tool. Are you clear with that? Yes. Okay. Now pen tool, I told you what is pen tool. Now when you go to pen tool, remember there are two type of pen tool. One is to create shape. I told you. Now it is in shape. I drew these things with shape tool. I used a shape, and it was orange fill. Then okay, sometimes even the orange fill is needed. I'll show you how. I will give orange fill. Okay, and I don't want any oh, sorry, I'm sorry. So what I'll do is I'll use pen tool, shape, and I will draw like this. Understood? Sometimes orange is good. Orange, I don't want any stroke. You can give it stroke. Understood? Sorry. Now what happened is I made a shape and covered what is written here. So why? Because it is in some layer above the text. You can drag that layer and bring it down. So shape layer goes behind, text layer comes up. You got it? You can use path selection, move this slightly down. Okay, so that is it. You didn't like orange, alright. I will change it into some other decent color. I can click here and select into some other decent color. Okay, so these are the ways in which you can work on shape tool. Now I just created a very simple shape by pressing shift. I was clicking so that it goes only in right angle. It goes only in right angle. So sometimes it may not end up. So that is when I use a direct selection tool, white arrow. So you can click on that and push using arrow. I just used arrow to move it little further so that it looks like proper square. I mean rectangle, not square. Okay, so that is it. So I've decided to I don't want this one. So I can go here to move, right click, shape 3, which is nothing but your box. I'll press delete and there it goes away. Right click, shape 4. I don't want this, delete, gone. So this is how you work on shape tool. Now where is shape tool? Shape tool is in pen tool. Shape tool is a sub option of pen tool, like I told you earlier. Okay, shape tool is a sub option of pen tool. Okay, now if you click here, there is something hiding though, that is called the path tool. Though it is a pen tool, it is called path tool and it doesn't have any color. Doesn't have any color. Okay, here shape tool has colors though. It has line thickness. It even has, if I draw a line like this, you can give line thickness. Line color. You can even give line thickness. You have different types of lines over here. You can select the line type. Okay, it has so many sub options. So I'm doing like this. Now I decide to have, I don't want fill, I give, so this is a shape. This is also a shape. Sorry, this is also a shape. Are you clear with this? So here there are even further options. You want a corner to be like a curve, you can give that, because you can't see it now. If I go closer and if I go here, okay, rounded corner or cut corner, and then create the shape. Now if you see, if I create a shape with pen tool, you saw that. Okay, so I'm going to center the line. I'm giving curved dots. I'm giving corner as a curve. So I did so many options and made it look slightly different from this one. This one has a different kind of dotted lines and this has a different kind of one, and the curves are, the turnings have a curve. So this way you can make a lot of shapes using this. Only thing, when you don't want, you can go to move and select shape tree. So shape tree is on top, delete it. Okay, that is background. You can never delete a background. You have to, sorry, delete the shape. Okay, so these are all the things which I did using pen tool. Sub option is shape. If I change this sub option into path, what is going to happen? I'll tell you what happens. Okay, so here this is used for a different purpose. I use the same pen tool, but I use path. Then what I do is I click here, and just drag. I click here and just drag, and I click here. So it became a path like this. It became a path like this. After that, I use horizontal text type, and I click here. Hello. It becomes a path tool. Okay, so it becomes. Then click here, and oh, here is that now. I can type HE. So you can have it whatever you want. Type here. using text tool, going a bit nearer, and sorry, okay, I'm clicking on that. Hello, how are you? I've typed, but like what happened is I have to drag this till here so that I can type completely. So these are the things we can use. These are the things which you can use for path tool. Path tool allows you to type something on the path. You can create a path and tell the text tool to type on top of it. If you don't like it, definitely you can delete it. Where is the path now? If I select, no, path is also gone with the text. Okay, so this is possible when you select pen tool and when you select path. Earlier option was pen tool and when you're trying to select the shape. Okay, so what other options are available in pen tool? Okay, you can use pen tool. Method how to draw a straight line, I told you, press shift, and this is in path. I'm really sorry. Path cannot show anything, only shape can show something. Shift and keep clicking, you're getting a straight line, which you need not worry. So that is the idea behind the shape tool. Now somehow I misfired it. I ended up having little longer. So what did I say? You can go for direct selection tool. Select the vertex which you don't want to. Select the vertices which you don't want to and delete the whole thing. Okay, this is not connected to it. Okay, sometimes when you delete something, the connection between the lines goes off. There's no connection between here and there. So you'll have to click the pen tool and click here once and for all so that you will get the connection. And when you want to delete, you can use the direct selection tool. Come here, this extra line, you can delete. See, this is also connection is lost between them. So now it has a perfect connection. You can move this by selecting using a white this thing and just go about moving using this thing. Now what happens if you want to create a curved one, if you want to do something like this, click and click wherever you want a curve, drag along with the click. So that is how you click here and drag, also automatically it will become a curve. You click here and drag, it becomes a curve. You click here, it becomes a curve. Okay, so this is how you can shape it, you can shape a lot of things. Now there are other things which I wanted to tell you. If you want to delete a point like I did earlier, you can delete a point like this, but the shape doesn't change much because it is a curve already. Okay, if you want to add a point, you can add a point here, and then you want to move that point, as I told you earlier, use direct selection and move it. You can drag it, you can do this, you can do that. You can even draw a cartoon with that, small cartoon with that. Yeah, so that is possible. When you add vertex, if you don't feel like having this, you can use minus, delete anchor point, minus. The shortcut for these things are plus itself. You can use plus. Okay, you want to minus, you want to delete something, delete. Okay, if you want to convert something into a straight point or a curved point. Now this is in a curve point. If I want to convert that, use convert point and click here. It will create a curve. If you just click in that corner, it will become a sharp edged like this. If you click in that corner, it will become a sharp edge. If you want to make it a curve, same thing. You drag like this over there, automatically the handles will come. You saw two handles there. Handles come automatically. Handles come automatically. You don't want any curves, just go to the point and click. It will switch off the handles. Simple. You got it? Okay. Curve tool. You can use this and drag like this, become a curve. So that is about shape tool. I taught you all this except for these two. I am not going to teach you now that, because it is little more complicated and too much into your head will become a problem. Okay. Now, having taught you all these things, I have to explain why I taught you. What is the significance of shape tool in a design sheet? Why is it relevant for an architect or an interior designer, or is it relevant for anyone to present? That is the question asked, but generally by the people. Okay, so I will explain the relevance. Now, what I want to do is I want to Google and maybe something I want to. Okay, so sometimes you will be presenting something inside the sheet like this. Okay, I'll save this image. Okay, underscore DHQ. I don't know what does it mean, underscore DHQ. So what I'll do is I'll go to Photoshop. Now I want to place this image somewhere here. Okay, so what I'll do, like I told you, I want to know how much space it will take. Maybe this much space it will take. So I created a frame using this file place embedded DHQ. There you are, it is placed here. Decent. Okay. Looks as though you have placed it inside the sheet because of the white background. Okay. Now I want to tell the audience or the people who are looking at the sheet, I want to show that this one is somewhere here. Things like that happen, wind direction, this, that. So all that you need to show a lot of arrows, which are not common. Okay, there are a lot of arrows in Photoshop. Either you have something here, just about two icons below the shape tool. There is something called there are shape below the arrow pen tool. There are shape tools. These are called shapes, not shape tools. Okay, so if you have custom shape tool, if you give that, you give custom shape tool, you go here. Okay, you tend to get shapes like this. You have arrows like this. uh, Really horrible looking arrows you have, which I generally don't like to see itself. So what is the point when I don't have a good looking arrow here? And what is the whole point in keeping them inside the sheet? So I want to have my own type of arrow which explain things. Maybe I can use it again in Photoshop. All that comes into the picture. So that is when you use pen tool again with the shape subheading. Okay, so I'm going to click here, drag, click here, click here, click here. Okay, so I created an arrow all by myself with no big effort. I just created it. All I need to adjust it little bit, I'll use this direct selection tool and dig up the corner. This is the thing. Then I'll do like this. Okay, so I'll do like this. So I feel that this curve is not right. Maybe my feeling also. Hmm. So I'm trying to show a stylish arrow. Okay. So here again I feel that this is a bit wide. Make it smaller. So I can give direction for things which are associated to it. This may be like put the chair here, or it may be a wind direction. A lot of arrows which you see in presentation sheet. None of them are preset. It won't come here. It won't be here. Here, if you come, you'll have some useless looking arrow. So see here, the this arrow which you see here, that is done by me in some other class or something like this. This is done by me. So I have saved it permanently in Photoshop. And however, this and this is not same. So how will you save this so that like when I open the next class, I want my arrow to appear there. Select this shape which you created just now. Select this. Go to edit and say define. Sorry, just a minute. I have not yet selected the thing. Yeah, it should be selected using shape tool, the blacks, this one where it selects the whole thing. So go to edit and define custom shape, and you call it, you give any name, my arrow, give that. So hereafter, whenever you want that arrow, you can go here, go to custom shape. You have your own type of two arrows which I've added into Photoshop library is what I created. I'll repeatedly use this whenever I would like to do it. Okay, I'll be using this arrow whenever and however I want to use it. Okay, so that is about using this arrow. Okay, now there is a shortcut called Control T, which means transform. Once you give Control T, you can either make it bigger. Control T allows you to rotate. Okay, so that is the advantage of transform. It is actually called transform. You can Control T, transfer means transform. You can draw like this, press shift and scale it into smaller arrows. Okay, understood? So that is the use of Control T. If you press escape, it will come back to the previous spot. Control T and just click like this, it will become a smaller arrow. Maybe you want our arrow like this, you can create that. Very simple. You can go to shape, pen tool. It should be in shape. That is that I'm warning you. Don't forget that part of it. And what I'm going to do is to create an arrow like this. See, just drawing the curves. Okay, doesn't look beautiful, I know that, but you can use the direct selection tool and draw all these things. Drag this also in a neat way. Make it center. Correctly. Do it correctly. So you have arrow. Okay, so I'm correcting things with direct selection itself. So you have the arrow, which is like starting from here and going there. Make it a little more sharper. So I'm making it very similar to the arrow which I have already given. So this is another arrow. Use path selection, select this whole thing and say edit, define custom shape, new up arrow. Give it, then whenever you want in custom shape, these arrows are seen. So you have continuously adding up. You will, as you work in Photoshop, within 1 year you have hundreds of shape representing so many things, not just arrows, so many things representing wind direction, representing the path where it leads to, representing the heat, X, Y, Z. So many things you will have a library on your own, and if you want, you can uh, you can go to preset manager. You'll have all these things. You can select like this and save set. You can have your set of custom shapes, very much possible, and you can repeatedly use that. So these are the endless possibilities that Photoshop gives you to improve your presentation day by day. Okay, this might be very much useful for you, since I've seen most of the presentations which you use will have lot of arrows and things like that, or small shapes representing something. You're trying to make your audience understand what is what. That you do, creating small shapes, and it is easy to do that with pen tool, in which shape tool is sub option. The other one, which if you want to type a curved lettering and all that, you use a pen tool and choose the path. Both are two different things, and once you do it, you can go to edit and you can say define custom shape. After that, you can always click on custom shape and go here and get all those custom shape all over again in the next slides, at least in the next sheet, continuing sheet. Maybe if you're designing a campus, you will have many things coming across. All these symbols can be used repeatedly. So that is the advantage of it. Okay. So do you get why Photoshop is important for architect's presentation? I think you would have understood that. Okay. So besides custom shape tool, there are basic whatever shape you want in your life. It is available in here. I mean, it's very easy. Rounded rectangle. You have a rounded rectangle. You can increase the radius of the round here, over here. 30 pixel, the round becomes big, bigger. See, this is 30 pixel round. Okay, so this is rounder and this is some 6 pixel or something. So those things can be changed. Ellipse tool. Okay, ellipse, ellipse tool, it's like a shape like this, can be used. If you press shift and drag ellipse tool, it is going to be a circle. Same with rectangle. Press shift and drag, it is going to be a square. So things like this are endlessly available. Polygon tool, yeah, what is polygon tool? You have 5 side, 6 side, 3 side, even 3 side you have a polygon. So that is a triangle. So this might be needed. So shape tool helps you to create small shapes. Other than that, you can make custom shape just as how I told you. 12-sided polygon. I give 12. See, this is 12-sided polygon. May be useful for your presentation. Okay. So I think I have given time, and I've taught you important aspects in presentation. What is needed, what is not. And most importantly, I forgot something. I'm selecting this shape and bringing it here and selecting this shape. Pressing Alt, if you press Alt and drag some layer, it will become the second layer. Press Alt and drag, it becomes another layer. Alt and drag. So I did that. I bought this thing here. Now in this, I select like this, and now if you feel that I don't want fill, but I want a stroke, so you can change that too. You can change that too. What I did is I gave selection. Sorry, select. I'll first of all pick up this layer first. Yeah, selection. So here I'll give some 8 pixel and not black, orange. Okay, inside color. Sorry. Okay, so I'll click here. Inside color, maybe something else. I didn't like any color. I'll remove the color. And here I have these different types of line. So this time give dotted lines. So I've done that also. So these things can be done for the shapes which you have already created also. It is not that you have to create a new shape for this. So you can change things like this. Okay, so I think that will be enough for today. So I will come up with more things in the next class on creating architectural design sheet. Okay, thank you so much. Bye. Good night.